Welcome to the Epic Success Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Shannon. All right, this is for you today if you're ready to make more money online. If you are already a business owner, I am so excited to talk to my dear friend, Stu McClaren, or if you're just getting started. Today, I've brought on Stu McClaren to talk about his new book, Predictable Profits. Stu is so generous. He just wrote a book that literally walks you through the entire process of doing what I call making your business bulletproof through a monthly reoccurring revenue model called memberships. He's going to talk to brand new entrepreneurs on this episode, talking about exactly how to get started. And he's also going to deep dive in for those of us that have been around the block a little bit and would like some more predictable revenue in your business to be able to plan and strategize with your advertising dollars and just really be able to not have to live the launch to launch life. So memberships is what we're talking about today. My dear friend Stu McClaren, the king of memberships, is coming on and breaking down everything it will take this year to get a very wildly profitable membership up and going. All right, let's jump in. All right, Stu, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you to be talking about your new book, Predictable Profits. So welcome back, brother.
Yes, thank you so much. Super proud and appreciate you bringing me on to talk about it.
Always. So we know, if you don't know Stu McClaren, and I said it at the front, but he is the membership guru. He is the guy I go to that has helped me create what we call lovingly in the online space, MRR, monthly reoccurring revenue. And I never knew in the beginning how vital that was to staying in business, actually. And so I brought Stu on today. His newest book has come out, The Predictable Profits. And we were talking before the show how he literally spills all the tea on how to go from an idea all the way through to having this membership living out in the world. But I want to rewind the tape a little bit, Stu. What made you fall in love with memberships to begin with? Because I think that's an important piece of this story when you're hearing so many opportunities online, SaaS and AI and all this stuff. And Stu loves his AI.
Yeah.
What made you fall in love with memberships?
Well, if I rewind back to that moment, it was 2008 was the year that I got switched on to memberships. And at that point in my career, I had a great business. It was very profitable. I was hitting the milestones that I wanted to hit. I was creating the life that I wanted to create, for myself and, my wife, who I just got married to. But I had a great business, but not a great business model. And the reason that I had this epiphany moment was because my wife and I had just got married and we were talking about, starting a family, like having kids. And I wanted kids. Like that was like something that I wanted to be a dad. I was looking forward to that. But every time we had that conversation, there was like this knot in my stomach. And I never knew why. Like, why would I be so excited about having kids and yet, this anxiety, brewing up every time we had that conversation? And what I realized was that anxiety was bubbling up because I had a great business, but not a great business model. And it required me to give more time every time I wanted to grow the business. So I was working one-on-one with clients and I had amazing clients. Like we were doing mid six figures a year. It was awesome. But the only way to grow that business was to give more time. And I just didn't have any more time to give. So then, like in this conversation with my wife about, starting our family, I realized like I can't do both things. I can't grow the business and be a present husband and father simultaneously with that business model. And that's like, for me, was the turning point where I started searching for like, how could I create more leverage in my business? And it was a friend and mentor that said, "Hey, Stu, why don't you just teach everything that you're doing for your clients inside of a membership?" And I'm like, "Well, what's a membership?" And he said, "Well, think about it this way. You'll teach one time and be able to serve hundreds, if not thousands of people who are paying you every single month." And I was like, And he's like, and you would just take the things that you're doing for your clients and just teach them to everybody else. And that was the starting point for me. And I just haven't looked back. And what I've realized is, there is something magical about having recurring revenue in your business. It eliminates the number one, fear of entrepreneurs, which is, stress around money. Like, where's the next sale going to come from? And when you've got recurring revenue, you don't experience that stress. And that's why I'm just so committed to getting this book in the hands of as many entrepreneurs as possible.
And honestly, why I was so happy to have you back on the podcast, because this is a message, whether you're just getting started as an entrepreneur. I always say, start the right way, then you never have to skin your knees and be with all the issues that Stu and I had to deal with.
Yeah.
And your learning curve becomes so much shorter if you hear this loudly and say, wait, maybe I should start this way. And even if you're an OG, like you've come online and you're a course creator, or you're a service provider, or you're dabbling with AI, or maybe an app, or whatever the case may be. I love it. The app companies got it right from the beginning. They're like, we want to get this reoccurring over and over again, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we see so many companies who have moved to or added on a recurring component to their business, because it creates that stability. And that's why, like, in the book, we talk about, different types of businesses, even if it's like a product-based business, or a service-based business, or a knowledge-based business, or even just a community-based business. You can add a recurring, membership component to that, and it will change the way in which you plan. It'll change the confidence you have as an entrepreneur. You'll be able to invest with confidence in your marketing, in your team, all that kind of stuff. When you know that at the beginning of the month, you're going to get paid by however many members that you have inside of your membership. It's just like a complete shift in the way you approach business.
Yeah, and it just alleviates that intense, like you said, the number one stressor for online entrepreneurs all over the place, or those that are getting in. I want to kind of dive into two different sections. So there's
Okay.
the beginner, and I'd love for you to talk a little bit about, like, how does a beginner even get in the shallow end of thinking about memberships? Kind of what's the thought process behind where they should start, how they should start thinking about what they would do for a membership. And then we'll jump over to the person that's been around for a while, that maybe thinks about adding a membership to an already existing, maybe coaching business or something like that. But let's start with the beginner. What would you say about that person doing it from the beginning?
Well, I talked about it in chapter 2. Chapter 2 is called "Will This Work for You?" And basically, like, I break down, how to determine if a membership would be a good fit for your market. And in the book, I'll share it here. It's 3 indicators that I'm looking for. Like, first is, like, are you in a market where you're solving a problem? And a good example of that would be like weight loss. Somebody's not going to go from being overweight to their ideal weight like that. It takes time to solve that problem. Or, my daughter's friend just got a new puppy, and I was picking my daughter up from her friend's house the other night, and I was chatting with, her friend's mom, and the puppy's running around, and I said, how's it been with the adjustment with the puppy? And she's like, well, it's been 4 months of nonstop biting and peeing and barking and all the things. And so, again, that's a problem, right? Like, you're not going to go from this puppy that's wildly out of control to the perfect puppy like that. It takes time to solve that problem. And so that's a great indicator. When you're in a market where you're solving a problem for people, it takes time to solve it. And that's why it would be great for a membership. Now, the second indicator that I look for is, like, can you teach a skill? So just like problems, skills don't magically, appear overnight. Like, it takes time to learn those skills, whether it's, running a business, whether it is like learning an instrument, whether it is learning some kind of art. Like, you don't go from not knowing how to paint to becoming the next Picasso like that. Like, it takes time to solve or to learn those skills. And that's perfect for a membership. And there's so many examples that fall under that bucket of people who are teaching skills, because the other side of it is that you always go deeper and deeper in your level of learning. It's like you and I, we've been in business for a long time. And we never stop learning. Like, it's not like we get to the finish line. We're like, oh, I've learned everything. Okay, I'm a master of business. Never have to learn anything ever again. No, like we were talking before the show, like you're listening to podcasts and audiobooks, and we're constantly reading. We're investing in ourselves and in masterminds and so forth because we're always learning. And so learning is an incredible market because you go deeper and deeper in that learning. So number one, I'm looking for problems. Number two, I'm looking for, can you teach skills? Number three, I'm looking for, can you create convenience for people? So this is really where like you take something that's complex and you simplify it. And so there's many examples of this. In our community, we've got many multi-million-dollar memberships that are in the teaching market. I think of Anna DiGilio. She has a $7.5 million a year business providing lesson plans for grade 2 teachers. Because lesson plans is a nightmare. Like my wife was a teacher for 10 years and her evenings and weekends were consumed prepping lessons. And so Anna comes along and she says, don't even worry about prepping those lessons. Here they are. All you got to do is just take them and, implement them in the classroom. It's like a huge time saver for teachers. So lesson plans is a great example. Or I think of Andrew Kraus over in Australia. He provides real estate agents Facebook ad templates. So they don't have to become a master at Facebook ads. They can just take his template, tweak the house details, and bada bing, bada boom, they've got a proven template to sell houses. Or I think of like Nicole Melton. She has a membership providing social media templates for beauty professionals. So they don't have to worry about what to post on social. They take her templates and they can run with it. So it's saving people time by making things more convenient. So if you check the box yes to any one of those, you don't have to check all three, just one. Like, can you solve a problem? If yes, green light, thumbs up, move forward. Can you teach a skill? If yes, green light, thumbs up, move forward. Or can you create convenience? If yes, green light, thumbs up, move forward. You're in a great market for a membership.
Oh, so good, Stu. And I'm going to ask the question I hear a lot as I train new coaches. And I know someone listening is, if they're listening, they have this question. But yeah, Stu, like I'm not an expert. Like I have the skill. I'm a little, like I've gotten a little bit ahead, but can I really do this if I'm not, you or Shannon or somebody else that already has these years of experience? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, because there are many examples of like two approaches. So first approach is that you are just that curiously driven, person who has a passion and an interest for that subject matter. And what you're doing is you're curating the information to be able to support people on their journey. So a good example is John Gallagher. When he started his membership, it's called Herb Mentor. He wasn't an herb expert. He wasn't an herbalist, but he had a passion for it. And so what he did was he just used that passion and that curiosity to curate and bring in outside experts who could speak on the topics that his members wanted to hear. Now, fast forward, I think he's in year 16 of that membership, which is crazy. And certainly over that time, he's now developed an expertise. In the beginning, he wasn't. So that's one approach, is like, taking the approach that you're the curator of that information and really helping bring the right information to the members who are on that journey. The second approach is you just partner. And there's two examples of this that I want to share. Both their names are Scott. So one is Scott Paley, and he created the membership called the Nonprofit Leadership Lab. And he's helping nonprofit leaders be able to thrive with their nonprofits. They've got more than 6,000 plus members in that membership now. He is not the expert. He partnered with a woman, her name is Joan Gary, who is the expert. So he took and handled all of the membership, all of the marketing, all of that side of things. She is the content expert, on subject matter expert. They partnered together. That's a multi-million-dollar a year membership. Another example is the other Scott. His name is Scott Karan. He was in our program and was thinking about memberships, wasn't sure which direction he was going to go in. And he was at a backyard barbecue with one of his longtime buddies, Ryan. And Ryan is a very tall dentist. And Ryan was moaning and groaning at this barbecue about how his back was hurting because he's bent over his clients all the time. And so Scott says, well, why don't you teach all that you have done to grow your dental practice in a membership? Because Ryan just happens to be like the Michael Jordan of Invisalign. Like most dentists will do 6 to 7 Invisalign procedures a year. Ryan does 600 to 700 procedures a year. So, Scott recognized Ryan's got this expertise. And, why don't we create a membership? They created a membership, and it was slow moving in the beginning because Ryan wasn't building an audience of other dentists that wanted to learn what it is that he was doing. But they fast tracked that by realizing that there were people who already had that audience. And slowly but surely, they've now built that to the point where they launched that membership in 2018. And fast forward to today, that membership has now done more than $30 million serving dentists. And Scott is not the expert in that membership. His partner, Ryan, is. So number one approach is that you can curate the information just like John Gallagher. Or number two is that you can partner with an expert just like Scott Paley and Scott Karan have done in their memberships.
Oh, so such gold, because it kind of gets rid of that imposter syndrome right off the bat. And then after the herbalist that you're talking about, like, he got to go and learn the thing he loved the most while he was
and he's getting paid for it.
Getting paid for it. Crazy.
Yeah, it's epic. And that the fun part about that approach is like you can still be that student. You can still be that person that is wanting to learn the stuff. Like use that, to your advantage. Like that's how you curate the information. It's like, I don't know how to do this. So what do I need to know to be able to learn how to do this? And bring in the people that know the stuff, and that your members are going to eat that stuff up as well.
Yeah. What I love about each individual that you talked about too is one of the biggest fear of somebody brand new is the whole niching down, right? Or niching down, or whatever you want to call it. And you just talked about like seriously niche down things that are at like 30 million and 7 million and those kind of numbers that you wouldn't think like a dentist teaching dentists how to do Invisalign would be something that would be that, ongoing. It's crazy.
There is so much opportunity, Shannon. Like it is ridiculous. Like I think of Bonnie Snowden. So she's over in the UK, and listen to how niched her membership is. She teaches people how to draw realistic animals with colored pencils. Like it is super niche. Now, she launched that membership site in 2021. In 2 years, she crossed the $1 million milestone. In her third year, it was a $2.5 million a year membership, teaching people how to draw realistic animals with colored pencils. Like it is crazy. But the amazing part about the world that we live in right now is that no matter what your passion or what your interest, there are others around the world who share the same passion and interest. Like I always like to say, like the internet brings us weirdos together. Like if you've got like a peculiar interest, the good news is there are others around the world who share that same passion and interest. It's just about bringing them together.
I love it. I love it. So that's for our beginner. And in the book, Sue literally holds your hand step by step by step from ideation all the way through. I've never seen a book this deep in terms of being able to walk you through the process. So if you're brand new and you're thinking about this, run, don't walk to get this book. It's going to become I'm a Bible girl, but it's going to become your business Bible to really building that membership. But a lot of my listeners, Stu, they came into the online world in the big boom. The 2018, 2019, 2020 big boom. And they maybe grew really quickly during the time everybody was throwing money like rain around the internet. And now they're settling into what I call a real business. This is everybody says, oh, we're in a difficult. I'm like, no, this is a normal business.
Yeah.
You just came in this Disneyland era and you think that's normal, but it's not really normal. And so I would love for you to talk to the person who maybe started a course, or maybe, because that's a lot of times people come online and they think, I just want to create a course. And the internet marketers tell me I'm going to be sitting on a beach with a pina colada and it's just going to be ringing in the sales, while I'm sleeping. And so they've already come to the realization that that ain't happening. And so I'd love for you to talk about the idea of a membership with an already existing business.
Well, I think for anybody that has created courses, I would just, number one, I would be doing a happy dance right now because you've already done like the hard work of like identifying the market, creating an offer that, people are wanting clearly and are purchasing. And the other side of it is that like when people come to the end of the course, I just want to encourage everybody to ask themselves like, are there people who are asking questions like, well, what happens to the community at the end of this course? Like, will I continue to get support? Like, if I've got questions, who do I ask? Like, if you're getting and receiving those kinds of questions, that's a really good sign for a membership because, for the record, I love courses. I love courses because courses can fast track somebody's learning curve. But there's a big difference between knowing what to do and how to do it versus actually implementing it and getting the result. And that's where a membership helps bridge that gap from knowing what to do and how to do it to actually getting the result. And what we're doing is we're facilitating and we're supporting and we're helping people implement what they've learned to be able to get the outcome and result. And the crazy part is that if you were to offer that at the end of your course, you will see ridiculous conversion rates because people automatically feel the gap between having the information and knowing what to do and how to do it and actually getting the result. They need that help in between. They're going to have questions. They want to follow up and get support. And that's where a membership can immediately slip in and fill that gap and create that recurring revenue for the business owner that wasn't there before. Because the downside to courses is that you've got to market it on a regular basis. You're always looking for new customers, new customers, new customers. But why not carry forward that momentum of bringing in a customer and make them a customer for life where you get to support them on their journey of implementing the thing that you've taught and getting results. And by the way, the other, sneaky part about this is that you're also going to be able to help your people get better results. And you're going to have incredible case studies and stories that you can use in your marketing. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. They get the result faster, better, easier. You get these incredible stories and you've generated recurring revenue in the process.
Well, and I'm a perfect example. Stu and I had one of these 15-second conversations as it is when we're speaking at places. And he knew I had a coaching certification. And I'm like, dude, how do where do I need to get monthly recurring revenue in addition, because I was getting a little bit tired. I love launching. And if you've come in during a launch, I love you. I love you. And I pour my heart and soul into that. And there are times where I need to recoup from that energetic flow. And so I said to Stu, what should I do? And he's like, back in membership. That's all he said, literally back in membership. And I'm like, okay, I'll just dive into Stu stuff because I'm in this community too. So I started looking at that. Well, we have a coaching certification that we launch, and it's very unique in the marketplace because it teaches people how to truly get their clients 100% brain-based transformation, which is what you get paid for as a coach. And so they do the same thing you just described. They come in, they get every little piece of how to do it, how to apply it. So they get all the knowledge and the skill. And they even learned a launching mechanism to get their first client. But nobody stops there. So at the very end, we launched our Coaches Millionaire membership. And this is a high ticket membership because these folks are in kind of a higher level program. And that opened up so much freedom for us and ability to serve Stu and I are people. Like we love our people. And so just, yes, reoccurring revenue. Yes, peace of mind. Yes, I can actually create a marketing budget, not out of thin air. It's fantastic. But I get to really help people get to the finish line. And anybody who's in this business for impact, memberships is where it's at for sure.
It truly is. And it is one of the biggest blessings is being on that journey with your clients and with your customers and watching them be able to go from, where they are to be able to getting the result and being part of that journey all along the way. It's pretty inspiring, and it's certainly fulfilling.
So I think we've covered the beginner who's getting started so they start the right way and they don't have to get all those bruises. And hopefully we've inspired you that are seasoned OGs and OBs, like, to get in and get this membership up and going. And again, back to the book itself, like, no matter which stage you're at, there is a walkthrough of that process. What, Stu, do you see that gets in the way of people making this life-altering, business-changing decision?
Yeah, we talk a lot about it throughout the book in the different chapters, because there are these moments when, we get excited about it and then we start to implement, and then we'll hit like some kind of a question, and questions like hold us back. And I've tried to, as much as possible, address the questions in the book. We've got resources and templates and swipe files that are all part of the book. You'll see that when you get it. But people are still going to get in their head when it comes to like actually taking action. And more often than not, they're overcomplicating things. They're overthinking things. They aren't keeping it simple. Like one of my gifts, I think you could say, is like a gift and a curse. Like I just don't have the brain to like be able to do complex things. Like I have to just simplify it into its essence in order for me to be able to move forward. And my wife makes fun of me all the time, because like when we're having conversations with like our accountants and stuff, I'm just like, okay, I just need like the one-page summary. Like just give me like the highlights. Like, this column is bigger than that column. That's good, Stu. Great job. Awesome. Okay. Exactly. And so that's a curse in one sense, but it's also a tremendous gift in others. And so I share that because the number one thing that I would say is people overcomplicate it and overthink it. So there's a process in the book. It's actually let me just find it here. It's chapter 16, the fastest and easiest way to launch your membership. I walk through a process that anybody can use right now to be able to launch their membership and immediately begin welcoming paying customers. And I guarantee you that process it works. We have thousands of examples and stories of it working. But I guarantee you there's going to be people who will overcomplicate it and overthink it. And they're going to say to themselves, the gremlins will creep in and will say, there's got to be more to this. And so what I would say is just like, keep it simple, trust the process, start moving forward. And what will happen is that you'll do your founding member launch and you'll welcome a bunch of members, which is awesome. And that bunch of members is going to grow. Like Jennifer Chamberlain welcomed 20 members when she initially launched her membership. After year 1, it was grown to 100 members. After year 2, it was 200 members. Year 3 was the year that she hit her inflection point and went from 200 members to more than 2,000 members. And so you can never get to the thousands until you get started and welcome that first paying member. And so I just want to encourage everybody to get out of their own way, keep it simple, and start moving forward.
Oh my gosh, so many other questions I could ask you, but I think that's a perfect place for us to wrap this interview. Stu, thanks for coming on and demystifying this membership idea. And I hope the listeners can see just how simple and quick and easy it is to implement. And literally, Stu wrote the Bible with this latest book, Predictable Profits, that you see there behind him. So I'm going to encourage you, in the show notes, you're going to see a link. We're actually going to do a giveaway. So here's what I love. I don't know, Stu and I, we both have a heart for Africa. We both have charities running in Africa. We just love generosity. And so one of the things I want to do, Stu doesn't know this. He's like, what's she doing? So if you buy the book, you're gonna send over an Instagram DM. You're gonna send over the receipt, say I bought a book. You're gonna be entered into a contest where we're gonna give away 10 books, and you're going to be able to give it away, and you're going to also win some cash prizes. So the winners will win some cash prizes, as well as be able to give a best friend buddy in the business a book of Stu's. So make sure you participate in this. It's a full generosity moment. And honestly, I'm doing it more so because if you've been dabbling, thinking, praying about what do I do? How do I do this thing? This is your sign. This is your answer. This is your moment, your answer to prayer, to go get this book, follow the recipes, Stu and I love the step-by-step, and he literally, I told him, I said, usually I don't get through cover to cover before I do an interview, and I couldn't put it down. And I'm in the business, but I was like, ooh, that's a good idea. I'm going to take that idea. I'm going to do that today. And already this morning with my team, I'm like, did you implement that thing? And they were like, yes. And it's already working. So Stu, thank you for coming on to the podcast and just sharing the methodology that has become synonymous with your name, and continuing to take a stand for people getting out of that trap of being stressed around money and being able to experience the freedom that memberships bring.
Well, I appreciate it, buddy. And thank you so much. Again, I want to encourage everybody, go get a copy. You can get it at your favorite bookstores. You can get it on Amazon, wherever books are being sold. But Predictable Profits is the name. And I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to help other business owners be able to alleviate that stress of not knowing where the next sale is going to come from. You can do that by starting a membership. I outline everything in Predictable Profits. Go get a copy today. Shannon, thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
See ya.
Whew. Oh my goodness. Was that just fire? I mean, Stu just breaks it down with such simple steps. And I know if you're listening to this podcast, that's something that is near and dear to your heart. Just give me the steps and I'll make it happen. So go out and grab his book, Predictable Profits. And like I said, DM me the receipt that you have, whether it's Amazon or Kindle or whatever way you buy it. DM me the receipt in Instagram at Dr. Shannon Irvin, and that will be your entry into our contest. We're going to be giving away cash prizes. We're going to be giving away 10 books. Every winner is going to win a book as well to give away. So you can be a hero to somebody else. And I'm excited to be able to do that to support this very incredible book, Predictable Profits from Stu McClaren. All right, that's what I have for you this week on the Epic Success Podcast. Until next week, bye for now.